Hello, my fellow hookers. Dr. Crochet here. Just working on a work in progress, a whip. It's a pocket shawl going to a good friend of mine. And as you can see, I'm just doing some double crochets and some wrap double crochets or a front post double crochet, whatever you want to call it. Pattern calls it wrapped. It's just a front post. Thought I'd talk a little bit about works in progress right now. You know, it's getting to be that season where everybody's starting to cram for Christmas. And I am almost done with my Christmas list. But I also started back in June. And making things instead of waiting to the last minute. I really think you should start as early as you possibly can making your items for Christmas. That way you're not stressed out when December gets here and you've still got 6-7 items to go and you've only got 2 weeks and you're stressing and you're trying to push along and then the bottom falls out and you can't make that 2 weeks turn into enough time. So if you start early enough, you really don't have that problem. Now that takes a little planning and a little time to think about what you're going to make and what you think your loved ones would want. It also takes some planning on yarn, depending on whether or not you're going to do a seasonal item. You want to make sure that you've got the right colors, and at certain times of year, certain colors are just not in stock. It's not because they don't make them. They just sell out at certain times of the year because people are all using them for the same thing or same type things. So the colors just disappear. Now, for the current work in progress that I'm working on, this pocket shawl, I am using Caron cotton cakes. Disclaimer, this video is not sponsored by Caron in any way, shape, or form. I'm not affiliated with them. But I do have an addiction to Caron cakes. I like Caron cotton cakes. I like Caron skinny cakes. I like Caron big cakes. I like Caron chunky cakes. I like Caron anniversary cakes. I just like Caron cakes. I think it's some of the best yarn out there. I am particularly addicted to the Caron cotton cakes. I really prefer to use it to make any kind of clothing type item. Unfortunately, they no longer make solid colors in it. Everything is striped or variegated, however you want to put it. And so you have to be a little more judicious in your color choices and what kind of palette you're going to use. This one was picked out by the person it's going to, so I don't have to worry about, did I use the right palette? Is she going to like it or not? Because she picked it out. She picked it out from a picture, but she picked it out. I didn't take the yarn with me. I was afraid if I took the ball of yarn with me, I wouldn't get it back to be able to make the shawl. Let me turn my work here. It's kind of a big ideal considering that how big the shawl is. Let me pause just for a moment to work out this tail. This is all that's left of the one cake, so I need to sort it out so it doesn't get tangled. I'd hate for it to get tangled. I am using the pattern, The Perfect Pocket Shawl by Sonia Hood. You can find that on Etsy at Knot Yourself Out, or I believe it's also available on Ravelry. I'm not sure about that. I bought it from Etsy. It's a good pattern. It's actually a very good pattern. It's very popular right now. Okay. We have successfully used our first Caron cotton cake for this shawl. Now I need to transition to a second one. Pull the threads out here. And I'm just going to do a quick invisible join Not a Russian join. I do so like this cotton acrylic blend of the Karen cotton cakes. It is absolutely fabulous. Trim those edges down, those little tails down to absolute minimum, so that when they're absorbed into the stitch, you can't see anything at all. And that will go into my scraps bag that I keep. And we are ready to continue on with this. Okay. Now, I'll also tell you a little bit about what's going on with Dr. Crochet, because I know it's been a little bit since I produced a video. I just had a procedure on my back on Friday, where they went in and burned my nerves. It's called ablation. You know, you would think, oh, they're going in and burning your nerves, you won't feel anything the next day. Nope, doesn't work that way. I was in a lot of pain this morning when I got up. Still in quite a bit of pain. But hopefully this will assist me and make me more mobile and make it to where I can crochet for more hours than I currently am able to do. After about 6 hours of crocheting, I have to take a very long break, and that really slows down the project production rate. Other works in progress that I have going on is an owl pillow that I'm making. I've got another pocket shawl I need to finish up. All it's lacking is the fringe, but I had to buy more yarn. And I have that yarn. I've had it for a week. It's in my, actually in my whips bag. What else am I working on? I'm working on another Christmas gift, a gnome. I've got to do a blanket that I've ordered some more yarn for. But I've got to wait for it to come before I can even start it, because one of the colors I ordered is one of the starting colors. What do you think? Looks pretty good, doesn't it? I am also working on putting together some items to go in my web store. Things like dishcloths and dishcloths with baskets, crocheted baskets. A cardigan sweater, a female cardigan sweater, a couple pullover sweaters, some more hats, some more scarves. I need to work on some more stuffed animal type items, stuffed characters I call them, because they're not necessarily an animal. It could be any kind of character, a gnome or an octopus or a Death Star. I made one of those. Just, you know, depends on what you want to make, but they're all stuffed, so it's a stuffed item. But you don't want to just say item. That's just so generic. So it's a stuffed character. You know, all things have character. Could be a cut-up character like myself, or it could be a not-so-good character like my ex. We won't talk about him. looking forward to being able to order after the first of the year some fingering weight or sock weight yarn and make some socks and maybe some hand-dyed stuff that comes in hanks. And, of course, you'll have to roll that first, but maybe some hand-dyed cotton stuff to make some socks, or maybe some wool and nylon blends to make some socks. I want to try my hand at socks. Not sure how that'll turn out yet. Never done those before. I can make a basic slipper pretty easily. They turn out pretty quick. A couple hours and I'm done. So I'm imagining socks will be about the same, especially if it's a toe-up pattern rather than a ankle-down pattern. But I want to try them. I'm interested to see if I can get the heel to work right. People say that's probably the toughest part of making socks is the heel. I don't know. I haven't tried them yet. But I do have a couple of patterns that I want to try my hand at with those. I'm really looking forward to purchasing the yarn to make my cardigan for the store. It's going to be a really nice piece. It's a nice cardigan. The person who wrote it, I can't remember the name at the moment, but they suggest either putting 3/4 inch buttons or a split zipper. And I'm thinking it would look really nice with some wooden toggles. So I'm going to try and put in wooden toggles. I'm pretty good with buttons, but I've never sewn in or sewn on wooden toggles before. So we'll see how that works out. And the good thing with buttons or toggles, you don't have to prepare any kind of buttonhole when you're making them for a crocheted item, because they'll go right through the main loops of the sweater in the edging. I'm also working on developing my own tailor's measurement sheets to put up on my website as a resource for people, where they can download it or print it and be able to use it when they're putting together a clothing item, so they can write down the person's measurements properly instead of just writing them down on a scrap piece of paper or in a book. This actual sheet tells where everything's at. It's got a silhouette or whatever. I'm working on developing that. I haven't found anything that quite works well for me yet, but we'll see. I'm a bit of a resource guru, if you will. Comes from working in offices all my life. I can usually throw together something like that pretty quick on my own without needing too much help from anybody else. What's on your hook today? What are you working on? Let me know in the comments below what all you guys are working on, so that we can see what is on everybody's hooks at this time of year. What kind of questions do you guys have come up during the creation process that maybe somebody can help you with? You can even post your comments and I'll try to answer them. Post your questions, and if I can answer it, I will answer it. If not, I'll find somebody who can answer it for you. Dr. Crochet is also looking at joining the Crochet Guild of America. And once I do, I will be seeking out their Masters series to get certified in their series, and then take the craft yarn councils, instructors classes so that I can become a certified crochet instructor. And then, we can go from there. Maybe I can teach some classes at Joann's or Michael's or Hobby Lobby when the COVID-19 crisis has abated. Things will eventually get back to somewhat of normalcy once we have a vaccine, if we get a vaccine. If not, once we know how to effectively treat it, as well as how to effectively, I don't want to say avoid, but effectively negate the spreading process. Right now, things are still way up in the air, even though we've been doing this since March. We do know that masks are a great help. Wear your mask, everybody. Don't be a jackass. I can recall talking to a pulmonologist back in June. He was at my chemotherapy office, and we were talking while I was getting treatment. And he said there is no viable reason why people cannot wear a mask, even if they've got severe COPD, even on oxygen. They can still wear a mask and should be wearing a mask. There is no viable health reason to not wear a mask. And anybody who tells you they have a health excuse is lying through their teeth, because no self-respecting doctor would write one. So there's that. And I guess it all depends on who you talk to. I don't know if you guys have heard yet. I'm sure you have, because it's been all over the news. But Cheeto Man in the White House has COVID, so does his wife. And they're seeking quarantine and treatment, and we wish them all the best. And we wish them all the best, and we wish all the best for the country. In this case, all the best for the country would mean he'd be incarcerated at Walter Reed until after the inauguration of our new president. Go Biden. That's as far as I'm going to go with politics, so don't get all angry and upset and leave. We all have our opinions. They're like armpits. Everybody's got them and they stink. So that's all I'm going to say about that. Now back to crochet. What kind of tools do you prefer to work with? I like ergonomic hooks. They keep my arthritis at bay, and they allow me to continue to work for hours on end. This one is a 6. I don't know if you guys can see that on the end there. Let's see, where is it? It's right here. Yeah, you can just barely see as it glints in the light. I need to go over it with some paint, because the numbers are wearing off. Get the paint down in the grooves of the stamped numbers so that they show up better. I used white last time. I think I'll do black this time, or maybe red. Something that stands out against this coral colored handle. Guess it shows up pink in the videos, but it's kind of a coral color. I'm really looking forward to picking up some more subscribers for the channel. I would love to be like Esvida Limon and have over 3,000 subscribers and only being open for a month. He is an amazing crocheter. He's an amazing personality. Gerardo Limon, shout out to you. Esvida Limon, watch his channel. He's got a great channel. He does some awesome work. He makes some very gorgeous men's sweaters. He makes other things too, and he works with some very gorgeous yarns. A lot of hand-dyed stuff. He even works with some of the cheaper stuff like Big Twist Sparkle. He made a gorgeous sweater with it. It turned out beautifully. He's big into Americana. Anyway, that's a shout out to Gerardo Limon, or Esvida Limon. I am part of the Limon family, the YouTube family. He is an absolutely amazing YouTuber, so give him a watch. Also, Creative Grandma, she is awesome as well. Her and Cynthia from Cynthia's Joyful Creations. They both do some really nice work. And then you have Miss Bod, Crystal from Bag a Day Crochet. Shout out to you, Crystal. Dr. Crochet giving you a shout out. Watch Bag a Day. Crystal is awesome. She does some awesome giveaways. She does awesome yarn unboxings. She does awesome reviews on yarn. And when she reviews yarn, she makes up swatches or whole projects to review that yarn, and then tells you what she thinks about it. You should seriously consider taking her opinion because she's an amazing crocheter as well as an amazing YouTuber. She's got a beautiful family, but she makes some incredibly nice looking items. She's got some patterns for some sweaters out there that I have downloaded and intend to make. She does a lot of yarn giveaways. And as of late, I guess people have been complaining about them because they didn't get picked. Well, that's just childish. It's random, completely random. She does it in front of you. People need to settle down and just take their licks. If they don't get it, they don't get it. You know, it's a completely random yarn giveaway. It's not like she's reading every comment. Well, of course, it's Crystal. I'm sure she is, even though she has 500,000 subscribers. That is not an exaggeration. She really does have over 500,000 subscribers. That's how good her channel is. That's how good she is. She has an amazing yarn room. I would love to have a yarn room like hers with all of the stock she's got. Little yarn envious there. My little yarn collection pales in comparison to hers. Anyway, Crystal's an amazing YouTuber. Miss Bag a Day Crochet. Make sure you watch it. Bag a Day Crochet is an awesome channel. She also likes to do yarn unboxings where she goes and buys all this yarn from different companies just so she can tell us, the YouTube family and other crocheters, what the yarn is like and what it looks like, what it feels like. Is it scarfable? If you don't know what scarfable is, you need to seek that out and find out in crochet slang what scarfable means. It's absolutely amazing term. She tells you all about the yarn, and she even tells you the price she paid for it, whether or not she got it on sale, whether or not she paid full price. She even tells you whether or not the company has good shipping rates. Take, for instance, she just unboxed some ice yarns recently, and she flat out tells you their shipping is horrible, but the yarn is worth it, and the yarn is at an affordable price. I personally have never ordered from Ice Yarns yet. I will be ordering from them probably after the first of the year. They have some beautiful yarns on there that I'd like to try. Some beautiful rainbow things, and we all know how I like color. But I'm also very attached to my grays and my blues. Really attached to grays. I love grays of any kind. Gray splash, gray variegated, grays and silver mixes, grays and browns, gray, charcoal gray, light gray, heather gray, medium gray. I like the grays. But Ice Yarns has some very beautiful yarns to try. I would like to try them after the first of the year. I will place an order for them. They're in Turkey. A lot of good yarn comes out of Turkey. I know Hobie sources a lot of their yarn from Turkey. Hobium sources a lot of their yarn from Turkey. I know Karen gets some of their yarn from Turkey. Lion Brand gets some of their yarn from Turkey. It's just good yarns come out of Turkey and Egypt and places of that nature. I would love to source out some of the Indian yarns that I've heard about. I haven't had a chance to look at them or find a source for them, but I hear there are some beautiful yarns that come out of India. And then, of course, you've got Hobie in Denmark. I've ordered from Hobie several times. And Hobie is an amazing company. They have some really beautiful yarns. Some great cotton stuff, as well as acrylics and other blends. I was sad to see their Tivoli brand go away, but apparently they're supposed to be replacing it with something later this month. We'll see what happens. The company that manufactured it for them discontinued it. It's just like with Karen. I was sad to see Karen Cotton Cakes solids disappear. I did get a mauve. I got 2 mauve and a solid white before they completely all disappeared from the shelves. So I'm going to make something. Don't know what yet out of that mauve. And I got a lighter pink. I originally was going to make a pocket shawl with it. And the pocket shawl is going to be a lighter pink cotton, a loops and threads. But I don't know if I'm going to continue with that thought yet, with that project. I may have changed my mind. I don't know yet. We'll see. I may make it and put it up in the store. See if anybody wants to buy it. Of course, I've been told that my pocket shawls are way too expensive. But if you source out my yarn, you got at least $30 worth of yarn. That right there is almost $100 once you do a standard markup on it. Then there's at least 27 to 30 hours worth of work time, sometimes more, depending on the shawl and depending on the fiber in them. Then there's other shawls I want to do, like the boho shawl. It uses 1,600 yards of yarn versus 1,000 that this particular pocket shawl uses. There's also a thermal pocket shawl I want to try and make. It uses over 2,000 yards of yarn. So, you know, there's quite a bit of yarn wrapped up in these things. But most people don't realize that. They think, oh, you can buy a couple skeins and be done. Well, no, it's not just a couple of skeins. And it is pronounced skeins. It's not skeins. It's not skeins. It's skeins. If you need help with pronunciation of those things, download dictionary.com. It's just like it's not a meme, it's a meme. It's not a meme, it's a meme. Anyway, off my soapbox. That was a shout out for my friend Allison. Her and I both have similar hang-ups about grammar, punctuation, and pronunciation. Comes from having author blood. What else is on Dr. Crochet's mind tonight? He's just not sure. Oh, I do plan on making a blanket or 2 for Project Linus. I don't know what color or what I'm going to do just yet, but I do know I want to make a couple blankets for Project Linus. I did get some of you are familiar with the big project I was working on at the beginning of the year, the 16 hats and scarf sets for Sarasti Abbey in Washington State. That's my Buddhist monastery where I'm taking my Buddhist classes at. Luckily, they're, digital, interactive, online, so I don't have to fly to Washington. Although I would love to go and visit there. I want to go someday to the Abbey. Maybe that will become possible someday. We'll see. Anyway, it would be a long trip to drive it, but I would love to drive it. It would probably take me a week to drive up there from here. But I would love to try it someday. Just because I love to see this beautiful country of ours. But I have trouble driving distances any longer. So I would definitely have to take someone with me. Hint, hint, Angela Sparks. Anyway, I did finish the hats and scarves. I did get them boxed, and I did get them shipped UPS on Thursday. So they should have them no later than the 10th because they went UPS ground. Everything else was just too expensive to send otherwise. And the fact that I got them into 2 boxes, I was impressed with myself. Did some scrunching down. The original box I had them in was just gigantically big and was just too much in shipping. Everybody wanted over $100 to ship it. Even on my UPS account, it was going to be like $85 or $90 to ship it. With my company discount. So the fact that I got it into much smaller boxes, and 2 of them, it still cost me less than $50 to ship. So those are now vamoosed and on their way. And I should be hearing back from the Abbey as soon as they arrive, and hopefully they can tell me whether or not they are able to enjoy them or not. I hope they can. I hope they can get a lot of use out of them. I intend on making a blanket to send to a couple blankets to send to the Abbey too, for them to use as backup blankets, because it does get rather cold there in the wintertime. I'm not talking about constant snowy cold and everything, but it does get rather cold. Closer you are to that Canadian border, colder it gets, and they're pretty close. They get lots of snow in the wintertime, but they also get lots of dreary rain, and that, of course, adds to the chill factor. And the fact that they only wear robes, no heavy clothing, also adds to that. So they are allowed their 1 coat for the wintertime, and hopefully these hats and scarves will be nice warm items for them. I would also like to make a couple of blankets and maybe some hats and scarves for Warm Up America, which is a project that helps the homeless. I would donate them to our local homeless shelter here, but our local homeless shelter here tends to be very elitist. I know, I was a resident at it once. So I think I would rather make hats, scarves, blankets, and donate them to another organization that works with the homeless. I have a problem with religious-backed organizations who act elitist. That's, anyway, we're not going to get started on that. Make sure you hit the like or dislike button. Either one, it doesn't matter. Both help the channel. hit the subscribe, hit that notifications all bell so that it goes off and you get the notifications. Stay safe, stay healthy, and keep on hooking. Y'all have a great day. It's Dr. Crochet. Stay safe.